I don't want you touching my daughter, you goddamn monkey. Racism in Dragon Ball. Now that may sound crazy to the average person, but Dragon Ball fans know exactly how true this statement is. Whether you know it or not, Dragon Ball indeed has some racist under and overtones in it. Now yes, I understand the topic of Dragon Ball racism has been covered many times already on YouTube, and this video will probably get buried beneath them. But instead, I'm here to make it my take on the topic, and it'll end up being the most definitive list of racist Dragon Ball characters on YouTube. By the way, I will be centering the word racist on here just to avoid getting flagged. Shout out to Crazy Dave for the video request. If you got a video request, don't be scared to say it in the comments because I just might end up making it. Before we get started on here, show your guys support by donating to the channel. That's all I gotta say for that. Alright, let's get this list started. Kicking off with the least yet still racist Dragon Ball character on here is our number 14th place.
Luxury. Chitty ching ching, could buy anything, cop that.
Despite Gohan's ethnicity being half of an endangered minority group, he's still racist. When Oob wanted to fuse with the Z Fighters in Dragon Ball GT, they all looked at each other like, huh? Now, I get why Trunks and Goten are like that because Oob is just much stronger than them and is therefore unable to fuse, but I'm pretty sure Gohan is similar to Majub in power level, but yet Gohan's gonna be the one to pipe up and say,
sorry, it wouldn't work. To do fusion, you have to have the exact same power levels. You need to let your body heal first.
Sorry, I don't fuse with Nick.
Plus, on top of that, just look at him.
Young fly on the track.
Anyway, on to the next one. In 13th place, we've got... like father, like son, I guess. Goku normally isn't racist at all. I mean, he's never made any comments on anybody's race despite being exposed to a lot of them. But yet, when he sees a group of Namekians for the first time, you know what he says?
Wow, look at all the Piccolos.
Ain't it a coincidence that he says it only when it comes to Piccolo, who's widely agreed upon to be black-coded? Should I just pull up to Africa and just be all like, wow, look at all the Jeff Hardys. Goku has literally seen both Kami and Piccolo's dad, yet he's still gonna act like they all look the same. Plus, not only that, he actually goes racist.
I'm about to get racist.
Okay, now we move on to 12th place, who is... Yep, good old Bulma. Despite her arguably being the most important character in Dragon Ball, it does not stop her from being a degenerate. When Bulma first met Mr. Popo, she starts freaking out when everyone else is chill about it. Now, you might say it was because he appeared out of nowhere and that startled her, but watch what she does after that.
I can't do it. That guy just totally gives me the creeps.
Bruh. Yeah, no. The creeps? What do you mean by that? Poor dude is just trying to help everybody out, but Bulma out here staring at him with the wrong intentions. Bulma then tries to cover up her racism by marrying a minority. But then she starts saying how Saiyans weird are for not aging like humans.
If anything, I'd say you Saiyans are weirdos for never aging.
What do you mean weird? It's not like they can control that. That's like saying, yeah, Mexicans are weird for having brown skin. Like, what are you talking about? Big talk from a hoe who uses the internal dragon for BBLs and Ozempic. Alright, let's ignore her for a little bit and move on to our next character in 11th place.
I got a pocket full of sunshine. I got a love and I know that it's all mine.
Yet another wife of a Saiyan. Chi-Chi might not be racist towards darker skinned people like Bulma, but she's got an even deeper hate for Saiyans. If you know Chi-Chi, you know how much she hates the Super Saiyan form. She associates it with Japanese delinquent culture, and that's fine to assume the first time you see it. It's another story though when you're constantly being told it's another piece of Saiyan biology. They can't control their hair color in Super Saiyan, yet Chi-Chi just does not shut up about it. She knows it's Super Saiyan and everything, yet she still whines when her own flesh and blood goes blonde. Like, lady, going Super Saiyan is a huge accomplishment for these people. You should be proud and not bitching about it just because it doesn't align with your human standards. Bulma at least quit being racist towards Mr. Popo and doesn't bring up Saiyan's biology every 2 minutes. But Chi-Chi though, even to this day she still whines about the blonde hair. Look at these examples in Spark and Zero.
Now his hair is red. This one I just don't get. The blonde hair made him look like a delinquent enough already.
Even Videl pretty much calls out Chi-Chi and her BS, because hear what she says.
Goku and I are getting older, sure, but white hair? It's far too early for that.
Sounds like it's black hair or nothing, huh, Chi-Chi? Shut your bitch ass up, you old hag!
Moving on from that psycho, here's in our 10th place.
Is it a crime?
Now, Kibito in the Boo Saga is just being a non-stop racist dumbass. Towards mortals specifically. When he first showed up, we're supposed to believe he's some super powerful deity and he's on a whole nother league, right? He even believes this because he's constantly trying to hype up his own race and put down the Saiyans.
There's no way that a mortal could lift the Z-sword, let alone use it. Despite all my efforts, I've never been able to make that legendary weapon budge. No more than any of the other Supreme Kais who tried their hand before me.
And because Kibito is so overpowered, he gets one-tapped by Deborah. Even after Kibito comes back and knows that the Z-Fighters actually lived against Deborah, Kibito still talks mad shit to Gohan. He's like, if the Supreme Kai could have lifted the Z-Sword, what makes you think your monkey mortal ass can? Yeah, oh yeah, Supreme Kai, right? The guy who lost every single fight he's been in, including flashbacks. Like, just start sucking already. In Super, though, he stopped saying his little racist remarks, but that's just because he lost screen time because nobody cares about him. Now, moving on to two people, in fact, who are probably more powerful than Kibito, honestly. Those both being put into our number 9 spot.
Hey ladies, drop it down. Just wanna see you touch the ground. Don't be shy, girl, go bonanza. Hey girl, body like a belly dancer.
Now, Android 17 and 18, specifically the future variants, are people who took racism to the next level. They have a superiority complex and think themselves better than humans.
Pitiful humans. What a bunch of shameless cowards they all are.
Kind of like Kibito, but the androids take it a step further and go ahead and just start genociding them all. They're not even trying to rule the world or have an agenda. They're just doing it for the love of the game. Look at this scene here. They're treating humans like animals by playing a game on who can kill the most people.
Why, hello, how you doing? How can I help?
17 and 18 messed up the world so bad that Future Trunks even seeing a different version of the androids gave him PTSD. Kind of like a Holocaust survivor seeing a random guy on the train look like Hitler. Speaking of which, though, now we've got our 8th place.
You need to be stopped!
It's Mr. Steal Your Girl. It's Mr. Steal Your Girl.
When Future Trunks isn't busy rizzing, he's busy racisting. Because of Android 17 and 18 ruining his life, he became very hateful towards any kind of android. Take a look at what he says here to a hurt and defenseless Android 18.
No way! You're a plague to the Earth, just like all the other androids! Why would anyone want to help your kind?
A plague to the earth. Did you hear that? Trunks hasn't even met 16 or even knows what he's done, but yet he doesn't want him drinking from the same water fountain as him. Plus, he's even gone off on Android 13.
You're just a slave, a pawn with no free will of its own, is that it?
Don't you lecture me with your $30 haircut. Goku dies!
We'll see, you red ribbon redneck.
Trunks called him a slave and a redneck.
An oxymoron is when two opposite words are placed together.
Future Trunks has even technically committed genocide on them, killing every single android in his own timeline. Plus, I'm sure you've all seen this, but it is still very much worth mentioning.
This is for everyone you've killed! England murderer! Hold your fire! This man isn't black!
Then he says this is Sparking Zero to top things off.
Goku black? I swear I'll... Huh? You're not black. You're not black. You're not black. I'm coming! Ah!
Even his GT counterpart got him saying some wild stuff.
Sorry, no dragons allowed! Ah!
Sorry, no Mexicans allowed. Ah! Moving on from the dead meme, now we've got 7th place. Trunks had to have gotten his racist tendencies from someone, and if it wasn't Bulma, then it's most definitely from Vegeta. Vegeta back in his younger days used to commit straight genocide. First time we see Vegeta, he just got done annihilating a whole bug planet and starts eating on them like KFC. Him also being a prince technically makes him a ruler. You know who else was a ruler and committed genocide? Even when he's more domesticated on Earth, he still shows some racial tendencies towards androids, calling them slurs.
You're pretty fast for a pile of scrap metal and copper wiring.
Even later in Dragon Ball Super, when Vegeta sees Frost and notices that he's doing literally nothing, Vegeta starts hating on Frost and calls him out to be a piece of garbage just because he looked like Frieza. I mean, Vegeta did end up being right later on, but he still had zero proof other than that Frost and Frieza share the same skin color. And speaking of that same very race is our 6th place.
But I also feel like I'm just gonna be alone longer than I want if I leave now, so let's go.
Frieza is nothing compared to me!
I can even roll in peace, why? Everybody notice me, yeah. I can even go to sleep, why?
Cooler from Omori comes from a very racist household. He may not be like his father or brother in terms of conquering and owning civilizations and planets as a whole, but Cooler still shows some acts of insane racism. Cooler firstly isn't shy to say the M-word in front of Saiyans. The M-word of course being, now don't flag me on this, monkey.
Super Saiyans, yes, but monkeys all the same.
Not only that, but Cooler isn't afraid to partake in some slavery. When he pulls up to Namek in The Return of Cooler, he immediately starts enslaving them and putting them in chains like it's the 1800s all over again. But as I said before, Cooler grew up around racists, and one of those people being our 5th place.
Big pimpin', baby.
King Cold, the father of racism. King Cold was enslaving races before Frieza and Cooler, including the Saiyans. Now, we haven't actually seen King Cold do anything super racist, unlike his kids, but it's the context that makes King Cold so racist. Firstly, we know that King Cold was the original enslaver of the Saiyans, and probably other races as well. And even when King Cold stepped down for being ruler, he still highly supported his youngest son's racial actions, even going to promote it by helping Frieza destroy Earth. Cooler and Frieza could have grown up to be like a galactic patrolman with the powers they had, but with King Cold's racial parenting and ideologies, he had possibly become the sole reason for both of his son's racial embarkments. King Cold, however, warned his son of one being though, that person being in our 4th place. King Cold warned Frieza of Beerus not by his power, but by his racism. Beerus' sole job is to literally extinct races. It doesn't matter who or what you are. Beerus will call you by the local racial slur and then wipe all of you out. He won't spare and enslave you and let you live without freedom. He'll instead just kill you and your entire race. Plus, he has an insane superiority complex, thinking of himself better than all other races just because he's a god and all mortals are lowly scum. Beerus even takes notes on future Trunks and says this:
Seems we've returned to a future where there is no black.
It's just 2 more syllables, guys. You guys aren't saving any time. What puts icing on the cake is what Beerus says in the Lego movie.
It seems you're a...
Alright, now, the next 3 people up are on a whole other level compared to the ones I've already said. You can rearrange these next 3 positions and say any one of them are the most racist and it'd still be valid. This, however, is just how I think they should be ranked from 3rd to 1st, just when you actually look into it. Before I get to them, let's first go over our honorable mentions. Up first is iconic Dragon Ball character Hitler. I think you know why. Now, for these next honorable mentions, I'm just gonna name off every other racist Dragon Ball character. These guys aren't as racist as the others on this list, but are still worth mentioning. Those being the Ginyu Force, all the Saiyans, the Frieza Force, all the Angels, all the Gods, League of Legends players, and all the Kais. There might be a few more, but like I said before, these dudes aren't as racist since they probably only had one minor scene, or just do racist things that aren't super noteworthy. Alright, now, up for the top 3. In 3rd place is the person who was mentioned before and is considered to be the GOAT of racism. I'm, of course, talking about Okay, now a lot of you might have thought Frieza was to be first, and like I said before, you might be right. But I just think the second and first place guys are just more racist. Frieza, however, is undoubtedly the face and GOAT OG of Dragon Ball racism. If you ask me, I think he might be a little racist. Whenever people talk about racism, Frieza is always the representative for Dragon Ball characters, and rightfully so. He's been doing it since the 90s. Frieza, for starters, went and wiped out an entire race of Saiyans and did it while laughing the entire time. That's like going to a rally and laughing at seeing a lynch happen in 1864. Plus, just like his dad, Frieza enslaves a bunch of races and rules them all with an iron fist. And Frieza was the OG racial slur guy. He throws out the monkey word the most out of everyone.
Training is meant for the monkey and not for the master. It's a damn springtime for monkeys.
Miserable Saiyan monkeys.
Go ahead, monkeys first.
There's nothing that I despise more than a monkey. Dance for us, monkey.
Even when Frieza is obviously clearly losing a fight, he'll still say monkey because he wholly believes that he's superior than any Saiyan and he's just losing because of Game Shark.
You monkey!
Plus, in the Namek arc, when Frieza starts searching for the Dragon Balls, he just starts obliterating every single Namekian and extincting their entire race. Man, what is it with Namekians being the victim of racism? Frieza also clipped Goku and started doing a not-so-subtle emote on him. Frieza even got a whole new form to turn black, just so he can say the N-word and be more effectively racist. Okay, moving on from the GOAT, our next guy will be a little bit of a weird pick. Zamasu took Obito Kai's racial motives and cranked it to the max. All Kai shown in Dragon Ball are all racist. Even Gowasu, who thought of the stereotype that mortals are weak and told Zamasu to hold back when fighting Goku.
Of course, you will have to pull your punches.
But rather than just talking smack on mortals, Zamasu goes out of his way to wipe them all out. He literally calls it the Zero Mortal Plan. Put any other race in that name and you see how bad that is. Zamasu's Zero Mortal Plan firstly began when he lost to Goku. And to Zamasu, that's like losing to a filthy dog. It pissed off Zamasu so much that he starts starts to first kill his master. Then he jacks the time ring, finds the Super Dragon Balls, jacks Goku's body, kills Goku and his entire family, go to future Trunks' timeline, meet that timeline Zamasu, find the Super Dragon Balls, wish immortality for that dude, kill every single Supreme Kai, then start to kill every single universe's living being. Jiren, Toppo, Kappa, Hit, all them other random losers? Yeah, straight up dead. Even Damam.
I'm hot cause I'm fly, you ain't cause you not.
And this all was because Zamasu lost to Goku. Just a simple sparring match. However, now the reason Zamasu isn't number 1 is because he hates all mortals. And that's technically one race, and he's hating them all pretty equally, so it's debatable if he's even truly racist since, you know, he's hating them all the same, right? I mean, the same as killing them all from one whole universe to another universe, but you get what I'm saying.
Word, you know what I mean?
If you switch Zamasu and Frieza's placing, then it'd be totally fine. But on to the main event. The highlights, the star attraction, the number 1 most racist Dragon Ball character of all time is none other than...
Fighting evil by moonlight, winning love by daylight, never running from a real fight. She is the one named Sailor Moon. She will never turn her back on a friend. She is always there to defend. She is the one on whom we can depend. She is the one named Sailor.
I really do think Baby is the number 1 most racist Dragon Ball character, and it's crazy to see people not even mention him when talking about racist fictional characters. Like I said before, you can rearrange Zamasu and Frieza and make either one second or third, but there's just no way Baby isn't first place. Baby firstly is like Frieza and hates the Saiyans, but the difference is that Baby really hates the Saiyans. Frieza really just hates Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks and looks at every other Saiyan as worthless, but Baby sees every other Saiyan and hates them. Frieza, for example, met Broly and Paragus and didn't immediately get super racist on them. If Baby were the one to meet Broly and Paragus and Vampa, Baby would have immediately got his hood and torch and start trying to lynch them on sight. If you don't know the background on Baby, he's of Tuffle heritage, which are the original race who lived on planet Vegeta, which at the time was called Planet Plant. But the Saiyans invaded the planet and took over and killed all the Tuffles. The Tuffle race, however, quickly managed to create a parasite organism and infused it with the Tuffle King's DNA, and that's what Baby is. And after being fully developed, Baby devised an entire plan just to get his revenge on the Saiyans. He also includes the entire universe as a stray. Baby firstly managed to invade Earth and infect Gohan and Goten. Then Baby pulls up on Vegeta and says this diabolical ass shit.
That just goes to show you no matter how much a monkey evolves, it's still a monkey. How is your father?
What?
He brought Vegeta's whole ass dad into this. Do you see what I mean by how much of a dick Baby is? Then Baby starts to pull out some get out shit. You know, the movie where the racist white people transfer their brain into the black bodies because they think of black bodies as superior to the white ones? Yeah, that movie. Baby does that same thing and makes Vegeta his own body just so he can have his power and be in control of the very race that he hates. Baby doesn't stop there because after he thinks he's finally dealt with all the Saiyans, he then starts infecting the entire human race and turns them all into hive mind Tuffle drones. But Baby still doesn't stop there because now he wishes Planet Vegeta to be restored and moves everyone on Earth to there. You know who else created a new empire and decided to move its people there?
You know who else?
But of course, Baby still ain't done because now he's making plans to infect the entire universe and turn them all into Tuffle drones. Baby even has a whole move that works just like the Spirit Bomb, but instead of charging it with energy, it's charged with actual hate and racism. Not even Frieza has a move powered like that. And what makes Baby a better racist is that he technically actually succeeded in what he wanted to do on screen. Frieza technically never succeeded because he spared Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz, and that later went to bite him in the ass hard. Baby did indeed take down Vegeta and take over his own planet. Now, of course, Baby did die and fail in the end, but it took a Super Saiyan 4 Goku to beat him, and even then, Baby was literally about to win if it wasn't for Oob doing inflation fetish. The fact that Baby made it that far with just his racist ideals alone just shows how much raw motivation he had. And he did that all with the jack shit of a power level. He got worked by a GT Trunks who couldn't even beat this robot bitch. But I guess the more racist you are, the more power you get in Dragon Ball, as Baby is truly crowned as the most racist character in Dragon Ball.
Your so-called warrior race. It sickens me.
But that's all I got for now. Subscribe and give that donation button a thought. Check out my other videos as well. Other than that, I'll see you guys later. See ya!
Cute. You're so cute, handsome.
Nigga, why you babysitting? Only 2 or 3 shots. I'ma show you how to